Greetings, I am Cross Knight, and this is Blueprints. Not to be confused with blueprints, meaning the plans for a house, but that is the pun. This is a puzzle game, primarily, but it also uses roguelike mechanics. It is first person, and it can be spoiled very easily, because while you do get some permanent upgrades, the main thing you upgrade in this game is your knowledge of the game. I am just going to show this very briefly. I'm going to try not to give too much away. If there's a major puzzle that I know how to solve, I will not solve it. I may not even acknowledge it. I just want to show you the game so you know whether you want the game, because I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm still playing it, even though I beat it, because I didn't find everything.
I, Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
Blueprints. And there's the manor. And that is me, Simon P. Sinclair. And here we go. Things to note. Up in the corner it says steps. That is my energy. If that runs out, the day ends. There's no combat in this game. This basically says that. Each time you enter a room, you will lose steps. The Mount Holly Blueprint. This will serve as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure. You may access the Blueprints menu by pressing RT. So there it is. There's my map. There's where we'll be working. Open only in the event of my death. So yeah, it's basically saying that everything resets every day. I'm not allowed to stay inside of this place, and I can't take any items with me. So everything gets reset, essentially. Not entirely true. Some things don't get reset, but here, to start off, we go here. We open a door, and then I choose which room to draft. Note the doors. This is a dead end, for example. If I go here, I won't be able to go anywhere else. Since I'm hoping to do 2 days, let's say I'm not all that knowledgeable, and I'm like, okay, closet, whatever, I just build this. So closets always have 2 items. So we have a gem. Where's my second item? Ah, a sleep mask. Now, there are different types of rooms. One type of room is a bedroom. If I enter a bedroom, I will gain 5 steps because I have this item. But now I can't go anywhere else. I've been blocked off on the front, so I have to go left or right. Let's go to the left. Ah, let's have the den, because both of these are also dead ends, and I could end the day easily. Basically, the day ends when you can't build any more rooms because they all led to dead ends, or you run out of steps. We got the den, which also has a gem. Now, what are the gems? Primarily, some rooms require gems to build. That's mainly what they do. We got a clock here. It is moving. Let's look around a little bit. See if there's any notes. Also, I suggest that if you play this, you have a notebook. Now, I take amazingly bad notes, so I've been, like, screenshotting everything, but some things I needed to do a notebook for, and my notes are still bad, but hey. Let's go all the way to the end here. Ah, the parlor. Let's do the parlor. The laboratory, by the way, is a completely useless room, and you'll note that it is red. The red rooms generally are bad, or they do something bad. The bad thing that this room does is that it's a dead end that does nothing. A lot of times the dead ends are decent rooms because they give you something, but they're dead ends. But we're going to do the parlor. Now, also, if you go here, you can find out little bits of information about each room. So, it's a type room of permanent, so this is always here. And a blueprint, I guess. Do they all say that? Rarity NA, because you always get it. But then we go to, like, the parlor. So type puzzle. Rarity, common. And how many times I've drafted it. So it's just good to get familiar with the different rooms. Sometimes they tell you certain things. But yeah, this is a good room. One of my favorite rooms, actually. Dear Herbert, it was a great honor to receive your invitation to dine on the estate. So, it looks like my uncle, who started this, really loved puzzles, and he set up a puzzle here. So, he had a puzzle for this guest, and the guest wrote some notes about this puzzle. So, there will always be at least one box which displays a true statement. There will always be at least one box which displays a false statement. Only one box has a prize within. The other 2 are always empty. So here's the game. Just remember that. You are in the parlor. So, 1 is always true. This is the parlor. I know that this is true. This box is empty. We don't know if that's false or true. The blue box is true. Now, we know that the blue box is true. It's definitely true because we are in the parlor. That means that this is true and this is false. Because this is false, this box is not empty and it is the answer. Now, I solve these puzzles with a very high frequency. 203 is having trouble with them, so sometimes she'll be like, hey, can you help me? And I'll come, because we're at this point, we're playing it together since we both got to the end credits, and we're just helping each other. But yeah, you see that, like, I like it. It's a logic puzzle. They get harder. It's nice. I like it. It's one of my favorite things in the game, and it's a repeating puzzle. So we have more northward-facing doors, and I just got car keys, which will only be useful if I find a certain room. We got pantry. I'm going to use the west wing, simply because it'll allow me to keep on going up. Anything here? Staff notice. Out of respect for the late Lady Clara Epson, the west wing will be closed until further notice. While the plans associated with this wing have not been removed from the pool, we ask the staff members refrain from drafting them during this period of mourning. Likewise, and that's it. Spare room, bedroom, storeroom. Let's use the bedroom. Now, the bedroom is interesting because you gain 2 steps when you go into it. However, you'll use a step going in and you'll use a step going out. So in reality, it's just step neutral. However, if you remember, I have the sleep mask. So I actually am over 50 steps now. Oh, she's got a moon pendant, I see. Got my enemy. The old enemy is back. The crow. And look at that. Sometimes there's just random items around. It's not guaranteed that that gem is there. That was a random item. I have quite a few gems. This is looking nice. Now, I'm gonna close off that place down there, unfortunately, but that's fine. Let's do the hallway. Now it's not closed off. Boom. So I want to actually draft this one just to fill in this room. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. So west would be to the right, yeah. Alright, so since this place is blocked off anyway, I'm gonna post a dead-end room because the storeroom's actually quite a good room. Because it gives you a coin, a key, and a gem. Always. Note, there's dirt here. You can do something if you have an item to interact with it, but I do not. So that's good. That was a great place to use a dead end. We're nice and solid here, nothing wasted. So the passageway is just all doors. It goes all directions, and I actually have enough gems to use it, so that is nice. Alright, what do we got? We got the laboratory. Let's do it. It costs a gem. Burning through gems here all of a sudden. Periodic table of elements, but it's numbers. And the actual periodical table of elements. There's a puzzle there. I know how to solve it. I'm not telling you how to solve it. Room temperature. Old-timey 90s computer. So here at the laboratory, I can set up an experiment. With this trigger, this thing will happen. Now, an allowance is amazingly good in this game. At the beginning of each day, you'll just start with 1 gold at the getting your allowance up highly helps quite a bit. Gain 3 gold for each red room in your house. Add 3 aquariums to the draft. I mean, so this is what you always want if you can. The next time you open a locked trunk. I might not find a locked trunk either. These aren't very good triggers here. I'm gonna actually use this, though, when I draft a red room, because it'll, guarantee that I get allowance. Not that I'm ever gonna play this file again, but I guess I'm using advanced knowledge now. Log into network. Can't do that without a password. Well, you know, it's always worth a try, right? That's probably 20% of people's passwords. Oh, but they require a number and a symbol. Okay, password, exclamation point, 1, 2, 3. There we go, did it. This machine requires additional power piped from the boiler room. That is true. It's one of the hardest things to do. I didn't do it until I had beaten the game already. Except, did I beat it? Okay, this is the first locked door. But I did have a key. We got the dark room. We got the chapel. And we got the nook. I'm gonna use the chapel. Now, the experiment should trigger now. Your allowance has been raised. Experiment successful. I lost steps, but I did gain allowance. And if you notice, there's a little coin right above call it a day. That is my allowance. I didn't increase my allowance until, day 23 or some garbage. So, but, you know, I didn't realize how important it was. In fact, maybe I shouldn't even be mentioning it. Maybe I shouldn't mention anything, but I don't know. I'm trying to keep the big secrets down. But yeah, maybe I shouldn't even be mentioning that. I don't know. Well, we're in the chapel. They took my coin. There's a lot of stained glass windows. Mostly it looks like because we got like a cook and a farmer and a jockey. Is that a duster? I don't know. Where are we at? Let's try to keep on going up. Is it locked? Unfortunately, yes. I need to find another key to get in there. Locked. I cannot go anywhere without a key. So let's go back to the hallway then. And we'll go up if I can. Not locked. Corridors, always left unlocked. So the end of this room will not be locked. Ah, a nook. Let's use the nook. Because the nook always has a key. Cool, wasn't locked. The observatory! Well, unfortunately, all of those rooms are pointing down, and I want to keep on going up, damn it. So I'm going to use a spare room so I'm not pointing down at least. A journey noteworthy. As you continue your adventure, you might want to consider getting something to scribble down notes. Yes. Very important. Here's the spare room. This room generally does nothing, but it is a straight corridor, which is nice. Alright, let's use the key. Hopefully we get something pointing up. Nope. It's all pointing down. I'm just gonna use the guest bedroom. There wasn't a lot of good options there. The kitchen would let you buy food, but I don't have any money, so... There's a gem in here. I at least got my steps back from drawing that red room. Sinclair, I just wanted to write you a quick note thanking you for this weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Evanston, whose particular personality somewhat made up for your own absence. I also got to appreciate your new game in the billiard room. It's been ages since I've seen a billiard room in the house. I was beginning to suspect you retired the floor plan. It was well worth the wait, though, as I always enjoy your mathematical puzzles, and appreciate that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variation. Hoping your health improves shortly. Unfortunately, I think we know that his health did not improve shortly. But yeah, this is the guest bedroom. It counts as a bedroom. And when you enter it, you gain 10 steps. But I've now locked myself off, so we have to backtrack. Alright, I am back in the hallway. We're going to draft this way unless it's locked. Alas, locked. I might be... Actually, I can go all the way back to the beginning, but otherwise I might be screwed because I just don't have enough keys. Oh, there was something I wanted to read in the laboratory. Yes. I typically work over at Sinca Labs, but got sent over here for a month to assist more with the new turbine tests. I think I need some help. For the past 3 days, I've been unable to find the laboratory in the state. Today was the first success on that run. Can anyone tell me if this is typical? And if so, how do I get any work done? Before I arrived, I was briefed on the way the doors work, but I must admit, I did not expect to be excluded from my new workstation for the first week. Any tips from my fellow technicians would be appreciated. So, what's happening with these doors is an in-world phenomenon. They're aware of it. Even the laboratory assistant was unable to find this place because she just wasn't able to randomly draft the laboratory. Now, do they ever explain how this works? I don't think so. But if they do, I haven't gotten there. I'll tell you that much. Well, since I don't have any keys, we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning. You notice that this is not accessible. That's because it's butting up against the wall of another room, so it gets boarded off. You cannot breach it in any way. Holding the run button. Alright, I can only draft this way. Conference room, dining room. The dining room gives you a meal if you get up to rank 8. Now, the ranks are the levels of the house, basically. So, like, this is rank 1. If you go north once, you'll rank 2, all the way up to rank 9. But you only need to get up to rank 8 in order to get the meal. I think instead I'm going to use the conference room. Okay, safe code. Haven't seen any saves, though. Spreading items. Some special rooms allow you to spread items throughout the house. When items are spread, they are immediately placed in several of the rooms currently in New York State. However, if you have a conference room, spread items are gathered in that room instead. And I got the coupon book. Saves money on purchases. Too bad I have no money. But yeah, this room doesn't do too much unless I find a room that spreads like they said. Ah. Well, makes more sense to get this. Here I can buy items. Unfortunately, I have no money. But the pantry always gives you money. Ooh, a banana. So food restores steps. That gives me 3. Apples give 2. Oranges give 5, I believe. Bridget, please pick up more fruit before Friday. Blah, 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 blah. Don't feel like reading it. But yeah, there's always a fruit, and there's always some money in there. Courtyard and breaker box and nursery. Let's do the courtyard, because again, most open rooms. Oh my god. It's a shovel. Shovel is a great item. These dirt clods can now be dug. And you can find rusty old nails that do nothing. Or you can find coins. You can also find keys. I don't think you can find gems, but yeah, that's the shovel's good. It can drastically increase the amount of resources you have if you're lucky. Still haven't found a damn key though. Ooh, the drawing room. So the drawing room lets you re-roll a room that you draft from it. So let's say I don't like any of these rooms, which is too bad because I actually do. Alright, well, I want the dining room, so I'm using it. Well, I'll re-roll this one then, no matter what, maybe. Yeah, good. These are dead end, effectively a dead end because it puts me down. So since I'm in this room, I get to redraw, and I get 3 more. Cool, and I got the grand hall. That's a great room. And the billiard room. Billiard room was mentioned in that message before. Let's just get the billiard room, because I want to show it off. I'm not necessarily going to make the most optimal choices here, because again, I'm just trying to show off the game. Got a coin. There was like one time there was something behind there, and then every time I check, and there's like never anything there. Ooh. No. Those aren't what I thought they were. But look at this. He said, I like your game because I got to do it without knowing the rules to darts. I just needed to know mathematics. So we got 13. And now we have... Alright. So we got 2 blue squares. Let's try 4. Now we have 19, but this one is yellow. What could that mean? Now, it has to be under 20, right? Because that's the only number there. So what if... What if I didn't show you what I was doing after that? Because I want you to figure it out yourself. Silver key. Unlocking a door with a silver key leads to many rooms. Or a room with many doors, rather. That's good. The rumpus room. I was hoping I would find this. Or the rompus room. Not only does it always have a crap ton of money, it has this guy from the movie Big.
And, as it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of a dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear. I see a boy standing on a shore of white sand. He is looking for something he was told he would not find. I see a black cat tied to a red flag. I hear the wind blowing, but the flag does not stir. I see a door marked by a rogue moon. A door that is always locked, yet has no key. It is the door you have been searching for, yet will not find. A lost room beyond the dark waters. What you have heard here has been foreseen by the great Alzara. Until the dawn of the following day, I will have nothing more to say.
And that is that. I have to be honest, I know what some of that stuff means. Not all of it. Man speaks in rhyme, he does. Also, there's no way to ever watch those again as far as I know. I think that's annoying. I mean, you're in a room with a television set. I think each time he talks, it should add like a VHS and you can just watch it again. That'd be nice. But, alas, let's go up. The workshop. That's nice. Only have one gem, so I couldn't do the office. So this is a dead end now. Ooh. Battery pack. That says H, and I don't know why. I think there's some puzzle associated with I never figured out. Stone cut by hand and letters wrought do spell our secrets carved from thought. A message, in bold letter, read is of 10 lost. Note that it says 8 above it. Perhaps there are more pages. Now, this room lets you combine different items. The shovel and the battery pack do combine, but you need a third item in order to do it. And as far as I know, the coupon book and the sleep mask don't actually combine with anything. But this is a useful room. And the rarity is unusual. So it's common, standard, unusual, and rare. Rare you're not going to find, like, very often at all. Then you got storeroom, you know, commonplace. But this is also a list of all the rooms that I found. Now, the Rompus room, standard, yeah. Though I found that I rarely find the damn thing. Also, this is the room that we're looking for. This is the objective. And this is the antechamber at the end. From its root meaning, the room before, all signs and paths point towards the antechamber. This mysterious sealed room, resting on the 9th rank, may prove, however, quite an initial challenge to even reach, let alone enter. Still, you can't help but draw a connection between this chamber and room 46. Let's see. Looks like I'm only going to be doing one day, because I didn't get screwed. Though, on my main 4L, I'm on day, like, 86, and I think I beat the game around day... I don't remember. It was at least 40, though. Now, here's the main thing. This game does have very good reviews, but all of the bad reviews count to the random number generated facet of it. We're just going to do the laboratory to get it out of the pool because it keeps on coming up. Plus, I'll get allowance. And that's true. The worst part of this game is absolutely the RNG. Now, you can easily beat it even if you don't have... I'm not going to say easily. You can beat it even if you have bad luck. But later on, there are puzzles that absolutely require certain rooms to appear. And sometimes they just don't. And sometimes they don't for a long time. So you're just playing day after day after day, hoping you get certain rooms that never come. And that sucks. There are ways... Like, the more knowledge you have, the less effect the random number generator will have on you, but it never doesn't have any, you know? There's never any time that you're free of it entirely. Now, as much as I'd love to go all the way to the chapel and draft there because it's higher up, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It would take 13 steps to get there. We're just going to use my silver key to unlock this. Okay, we got the pool. We got the west wing. We got the dark room. Dark room could be fun. Wow, to have an allowance of 3 on the first day. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned allowance, but yeah, dark room, boom. As I mentioned, the red rooms generally do bad things. The bad thing here is that, 1, you can't see anything, and there is stuff in here. But 2, when I draft, it's locked. I will not be able to see what I'm drafting. So, there's that. I do believe that this run is done, not because I ran out of space, not because I ran out of steps, but because I no longer have any keys. Now, is it possible that I missed some keys on the ground? Yes. But I haven't seen any, and it's not like I have a ton of steps, so I'm going to use my remaining time. Look, it also takes a step to go out here. To go out here. We can look around a little bit. Oh, let's make a wish. Alright, looks like I can't go this direction. It is locked. So we'll look around here. There's a little patio type thing down there. Well, that's all boarded up, so we're not doing anything there. Could it be that something's going on here? Could be. And then there's stuff in here, it looks like. But it's very dark. Alas, dead end. Now, fortunately, all of that exploring out here only takes 1 step. These don't count as individual rooms. The steps are more of a magical property as opposed to a thing that makes sense considering how much farther I had to walk here than I did throughout the mansion. It's like something about the mansion drains your power. These are not clues to anything or something. I'm just trying to justify the mechanic, when in reality it's just that it's a mechanic. Don't know about all that. No siree. And we've reached a camp, and I should really put out a fire before I leave here, but... Due to the rules set forth by your great-uncle's will, you are not allowed to stay in the estate overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fashion a very respectable off-site sleeping quarters. You may call it a day anytime at the Blueprints menu to return to the campsite at night. It looks like we got an apple orchard here, but alas, I don't know the code. I do know the code. But don't you worry about that. And I think, at this time, that is all I can do. I don't believe there are any places that are unlocked. That means I should call it a day. Each day, it'll do a little evaluation of how you did, and you'll get a different title for the type of house that you got based on the types of rooms you did and other factors, like how far you got. So this was an ordinary villa. I can assure you, the first time I played this, I did far worse than this. And that's that. When you go to the next day... Day number 2. Everything has been reset, except I got an allowance. And I mean, look, I don't think I showed you guys anything that's gonna, like, ruin it, except I didn't know about the importance of allowance. That is a huge tip, I would say. It's not really puzzle-related, it's just mechanics-related. Getting a good allowance early is very nice. It's just helpful. Even though I never even used gold in this run because I didn't draft any shops. Right? Yeah, 0 shops. Then we got green rooms, there's red rooms, there's hallways, and there's bedrooms. These are the 5 different types of special rooms, and these are all of the regular rooms. I'm trying to think, did I get any rare rooms? I don't think I did. Yeah. What's the laboratory, actually? Yeah, standard. Yeah. So, I didn't get any rare rooms. I did get an unusual room, though. Okay. In any case, that is that. I hope you know whether or not you want the game. There is a story. Part of the game is figuring out that story. But yeah, I had a good time doing it. I am at the point now, though, I've played this game for like 50 hours. I'm not there yet, but I am very close to the point where I'm probably just going to start looking stuff up. Because I feel like it's not that... I mean, some of the puzzles I can't figure out, but some of the puzzles I don't even know are there. You know what I mean? Like, you can just look at a puzzle and not even realize it's a puzzle. And I honestly just want to, after 50 hours, I kind of want to be done. I'm probably going to play it for another, like, week or so, and then just start looking up how to do things, and then find out what it is. Because there are people that, like, beat the game in 20 hours, and then play for another 100 hours. Because of how much stuff is in the game, and how much more there is to find after getting to the end credits. Because they make it pretty clear that there's more, and there is. In any case, thank you very much for watching. I hope I showed this to at least one person that wasn't aware of it. If you're, like, up on the indie game scene, you've already heard of this, because it's pretty big right now. Like, a lot of people have been talking about this game, and a lot of people have been talking about Expedition 33. So, like, the only reason I haven't played Expedition 33 is I'm not sure it'll run on my computer, but I do want to play it. In any case, I am Cross Knights. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, as always, to my lovely patrons. And good luck on finding room 46. Truly, you may need it. Alright, later.